Hello everyone, welcome back to the Python series, and today we're gonna be learning about comments and user input in Python. So let's dive right in. So what is a comment? A comment is essentially a note within our Python program. It allows us to explain what parts of our code do, and it makes it easier to understand. Now guys, there are two types of comments, single line comments and multi-line comments. So to create a comment within our Python program, we begin by typing the hash symbol. After that, we add a note for our comment, so we can say this is a single line comment. And a thing about comments, guys, is that it doesn't affect what our program does. So we could do something under here, like let's say print hello world, and you'll realize that when we run our Python program, hello world will still get printed out. Now guys, a comment can be used to explain what a part of our code does. So we could actually go right beside this line right here where we're printing hello world, and we could say this will display hello world onto the screen. And then if we run our code, you'll realize it doesn't affect what our program does. And that's because Python ignores comments whenever we make them. We could also prevent certain code from executing within our program as well. So let's do a quick example. So we'll say print how are you today, and then when we run our code, it will say hello world, how are you today. But one thing we can do with comments is prevent code from executing. So we could do a hash right here, and then you'll realize we commented our code. So when we run our code, you'll realize hello world gets printed out. We could also do it for right here. And now if we run our code, you'll realize that nothing gets printed out. But if we uncomment our code, and then we run our code, you'll see how are you today. Let's do this for the hello world as well. Yeah, and you can see it gets printed out. So comments can be used to explain what parts of our code does, and it can make it easier to understand our code. So we can say right here, ask the user how they are today. And you'll realize that it doesn't affect how our program gets executed. And that is how comments work, guys. So to create a multi-line comment in Python, we use triple quotes. So we start with triple quotes and we end off with triple quotes. And in between here, we can say this is a multi-line comment. This is on multiple lines because this is a multi-line comment. And if we run our code, guys, you'll realize we still get the same result. Hello world, how are you today? And that is a multi-line comment. Now guys, we can also use single quotes. Let me copy this and I'll just paste it. So we can replace this with single quotes, and we can end it off with single quotes, and you'll realize it is still a multi-line comment. So it doesn't matter if you use double quotes or single quotes. One thing I want to show you guys is, technically speaking, multi-line comments are not really true multi-line comments in Python. It can also be used as multi-line strings if it's stored within a variable or printed out. So let's create a variable. Let's call it multi-line string, and we'll set it equal to double triple quotes, and then we can say this is a multi-line string. This is on another line, and we can just type whatever inside of there, and then we can simply print out this multi-line string. And if we run this code, you'll see this is a multi-line string. This is on another line. So technically speaking, guys, a multi-line comment in Python can be a multi-line string as well, but only if you use it. So we can say, but this can also be a comment if not printed or stored. And if we run this, you'll realize we get the same result. So multi-line comments are basically multi-line strings, but only if you use them or try to print them out onto the screen. And that is comments, guys. So now that we understand how comments work, let's move on to getting user input within our Python program. So let's say we wanted to get input within our Python program. Maybe we want to ask the user a question like, what is your name? And greet them. In Python, we can use the input function to do this. It allows us to ask the user a question or prompt them. So we can start by typing input and then open and close parentheses, and then in quotation marks, the question or prompt we want to ask them. So let's say, what is your name? Question mark space. And now when we run our Python program, guys, it will ask us, what is your name? So it asks us for what is your name, so we can type something in, so we can say like John Doe, and we can press enter on our keyboard, and you'll realize that our Python program just quits after it gets the input that we typed in. And that's because we haven't done anything meaningful with that user input. Now guys, the input function actually returns the result of whatever the user types in within our program. So let me actually prove this to you guys. So I'm just gonna wrap this within a print statement. So let me just close off this parentheses. And now I'm gonna just save this Python file with Ctrl S. Then I'm gonna run this Python file. So I'm gonna type John Doe. And now you'll see it prints out John Doe onto the screen. So what we need to do to actually do something with our user input, guys, is store it within a variable. So let's get rid of this print statement right here. And let's create a variable. We'll call it name, and we'll set it equal to our input function, so we actually store the result that the user types in. And now let's actually greet the user. So let's do a print, and we'll say hello, comma, and let's say comma again, and pass in our name variable, and then we'll say plus exclamation mark. And now let's run our Python program. So we can type John Doe, and now you'll see it says hello John Doe. Let me actually comment this out for you guys. So we can add a comment up here. We can say ask the user for their name, and then let's add a comment right here. We'll say greet the user. And if we run this, we can test it out again. We can type something else this time. Let's say, I don't know, Ben Walker, and let's press enter. And then it will say hello Ben Walker. And that is how we get user input within our Python program, guys. So let's say we wanted to get some other information from our user as input within our Python program. Let's say their age. So the first thing we need to do, let's create a variable called age to store the input that the user will type in. And let's call our input function. And we'll ask them the question, what is your age? Question mark and then space. And now we need to do something with that variable, guys. So let's do a print UR space. Let's do plus age plus space. Let's do years old exclamation mark. And let's save our Python program with Control S and let's run it. And now let's see what happens. So it asks us for our name. Let's type in John Doe. And it'll ask us for age now. So we'll type, let's say 19. And you'll see it says, hello John Doe, you are 19 years old. Now let's try to ask the user for or their favorite color. So let's create a variable first. We'll call it favorite underscore color. And we'll set it equal to input. And then we'll ask the user, what is your favorite color? Question mark space. And now remember we need to do something with that input variable. So we'll call a print function and we'll say your favorite color is space, and let's do a plus right here, favorite color. And now let's run our Python program. So it asks us for a name. Let's enter something different this time. Let's say Bob, and it will ask what is your age. Let's say Bob is 15. What is your favorite color? Let's say red. And you'll see it says, hello Bob, you are 15 years old, your favorite color is red. Now let's do this with another name. So let's run our Python program, ask us for a name. Let's type Tom this time. And it will ask us for age. Let's say Tom is 9 years old. Favorite color, let's say it is blue. And you'll see it says, hello Tom, you are 9 years old, your favorite color is blue. And that is how we get user input within our Python program, guys. So let me just leave some comments right here. So this right here essentially asks the user for their age, and this will ask the user for their favorite color, and this will tell the user their age, and this will tell the user their favorite color. And that is all about getting user input within our Python program, guys. So you guys just learned about comments and also getting user input within your Python program. So I hope you all learned something valuable. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.